Hey guys, I hope you are doing great. Now, last time we covered periodic classifications of elements, and yeah, so this time also we will be continuing with the same. As I said, do not worry, I will cover the gravitation later on. And we need to start today from modern periodic table. So yeah, we have already learned the concepts of merits, demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table, and about Newland's law of octaves and this all things. Now let's study about modern periodic table. So before we proceed, I hope you revise the concepts of the last video that I had uploaded with the name Science 1, Chapter 2, Part 1. So yeah, this is the Part 2 for that. So the scientific world did not know anything about the interior of the atom when Mendeleev put forth the periodic table. So what was there inside the atom? There were no microscopes developed to experiment on those things. So like the author wants to describe this feeling that the scientists till then had no idea that what is there present inside the modern periodic table after the discovery of electrons. You know electrons, right? It is present inside the atoms and it revolves around the neutrons and protons. If you don't know, it is completely fine. So yeah, after the discovery of electrons, scientists started exploring the relation between the electronic number of an atom and the atomic number. So the atomic number in Mendeleev's periodic table only indicated the serial number of the element. Now let us study about this in detail. In 1913 AD, the English scientist Henry Moseley demonstrated with the help of experiments done using X-ray tube that the atomic number, which is represented by symbol Z of an element, corresponds to the positive charge on the nucleus or the number of protons in the nucleus of atom of that element. This revealed that atomic number is a more fundamental property of an element than its atomic mass. Accordingly, the statement of modern periodic law was stated as follows: properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic mass. Now this is the most important point that you will have in this entire chapter. If you would see earlier, Mendeleev said that properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic masses. This was what Mendeleev said. You can go back and you can see this sentence: properties of elements are periodic function of their atomic masses. This was what Mendeleev said when the scientists were unknown to the concept of electron or to the number of electrons which are present in an atom. But when they realized that atomic number is actually if you will see here what is atomic number, they have said that atomic number is the number of positive charge on the nucleus or the number of protons. Positive charge and protons are one and the same thing. Just proton is a term which can be used for positive charge in the nucleus of an atom. So like egg has a nucleus, right? Similarly, atom also has a nucleus, and there are some protons present inside the atoms. So the number of protons is the atomic number. So when they created the modern periodic law, they updated the rule by saying that periodic properties of elements are a periodic function of their atomic numbers. Now modern periodic table. So this is the most important periodic table that we had till now, and it is also called as long form of periodic table. Now let us read about it in brief. So classification of elements resulting from an arrangement of elements in an increasing order of their atomic number is the modern periodic table. So this can be a point about modern periodic table, which you can write that the classification of elements which can lead to arranging elements in the increasing order of their atomic numbers. Now different elements will have different atomic numbers. So that is what it is saying, that when we classify the elements in the increasing order such that the atomic numbers are sequenced in the increasing order, it is called the modern periodic table. Now the properties of element can be predicted more accurately with the help of modern periodic table formed on the basis of atomic numbers. So they are saying that the modern periodic table, which is formed on the basis of atomic numbers, not on the basis of atomic masses, but on the basis of atomic numbers, this this table which was created can predict the properties more accurately than the older ones. The modern periodic table is also called the long form of periodic table. Okay, in the modern periodic table, the elements are arranged in accordance with their atomic number. As a result, most of the drawbacks of the Mendeleev's periodic table appear to be removed. So when the scientists created the modern periodic table, the drawbacks that we had for in the Mendeleev's periodic table removed because the scientists fixed them. However, the ambiguity about the position of hydrogen is not removed even in the modern periodic table. So yeah, there is still one issue in the modern periodic table which is regarding the element hydrogen. What is it? We will study later. So we have seen in the previous standard that the electronic configuration of an atom, the way in which the electrons are distributed in the shells around the nucleus, is determined by the total number of electrons in it, and the total number of electrons in an atom is same as the atomic number. Now you should understand this thing very carefully. They are saying that electronic configuration of an atom, it means the way in which electrons are distributed in the cells around the nucleus, is determined by the total number of electrons in it, and the total number of electrons in an atom is same as atomic number. So what is an atomic number? In simple terms, total number of electrons in an atom is an atomic number. Now the relation between the atomic number of an element and its electronic configuration is clearly seen in the modern periodic table. Okay, till now we have not seen it, so let us wait for it. So let us see what are they trying to say. So structure of modern periodic table. The author wants to say that modern periodic table contains 7 rows, rows means horizontal rows, and periods 1 to 7. Okay, wait. 7 horizontal rows are called periods 1 to 7. Similarly, the 18 vertical columns, vertical means, yeah, this way, like it is like a standing pole. So the similarly they are having 18 vertical columns which are called groups 1 to 18. So the basic thing is there are 7 rows and 18 columns. Now the arrangement of periods and groups result in formation of boxes. Atomic numbers are serially indicated in the upper part of these boxes. Each box corresponds to the place for one element. Now we will see it in detail here. See, we are having an element here. Let's take any elements. Let's take carbon. Okay. So you will see that carbon has written 6, like in the box. This is the box of carbon. This is 6 which is written here. So this is the atomic number of carbon. It means total 6 electrons are present in the atom of carbon, because it is said that atomic number is nothing but the number of electrons present. Now it is also said that the numbers of electrons and protons are same. It means that there are 6 protons present in carbon, 6 electrons also present in carbon. Now let's go back to where we were studying. Yeah. So that is said that atomic numbers are serially indicated in the upper part of these boxes. Each box contains one element. Apart from these 7 rows, 2 rows are shown separately at the bottom of periodic table. These are called lanthanide and actinide series respectively. There are 118 boxes in the periodic table, including the 2 series. Which 2 series? These 2 series that are present separately at the bottom of the periodic table. It means that there are 118 places for elements in the modern periodic table. Okay, it means that till now 118 elements are discovered. Okay, so let's read in more. Okay, let me explain with the help of a diagram. You will see that, yeah, can you see these 2 F block? This is lanthanide series, this is actinide series. Okay, so these 2 series are present at the bottom of the periodic table. This is your periodic table. This totally is called the long form of periodic table, and these 2 series are present in the bottom, and you will see that there are total 118 elements. If you see 57 to 71 and 89 to 103 is nothing but this series 57 to 71, and 89 to 103 is nothing but the actinium series, which is starts with AC, 89 atomic number, and ends at 103 atomic number. Now let's go to the top and start reading it again. The entire periodic table is divided into 4 blocks. They have divided a periodic table into 4 blocks: S, P, D, and F. S block, P block, D block, and F block. In short, we will call it S, P, D, and F. The S contains the group 1 and 2. The group 13 to 18. 13 to 18, it means 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All combined together to form the P block. and the groups 3 to 12 constitute the D block. Okay, what is the D block? Where while the lanthanide and actinide series at the bottom form the F block. Now let us go to the diagram, because it is very important for you to refer the diagram if you want to understand this. So S block is actually 1 and 2. You will see this is group 1, this is group 2, this is S block. This entire two columns is S block. This completely from group 13 to group 18 is P block. Okay, and if you will see from group 3 to group 12, this entire is D block, and these two block present in the bottom are nothing but F block, which is what it is mentioned here. If you will see, the entire periodic table is divided into 4 blocks: S, P, D, and F. S is present with group 1 and 2. Group 13 to 18 form P, and group 3 to 12 form D, and lanthanide and actinide series at the bottom form F block. The D block elements are called transition elements. Now there is one more name for D block element, that is transition elements. A zigzag line can be drawn in the P block of the periodic table. Now let us see, where is the P block? Okay, this is the P block. Can you see this zigzag line? Yeah, the author is talking about this line. Now let us see what is the importance of this line. So it is saying that the three traditional types of elements can be clearly shown in the modern periodic table with the help of this zigzag line. The metalloid elements lie along the border of this zigzag line. All the metals lie on the left side of the zigzag line, while all the non-metals lie on the right side. Now let us go to the diagram back and read it. So this is the zigzag line. The author wants to say that all the elements that are present to the left side are metals, and all the ones that are present to the right side, like this entire side, I hope you all can see, are non-metals. But the elements which are present just beside this zigzag line, if you can see properly, the author has said that they are called metalloids. You will see it here. See, the three traditional types, that is metal, non-metal, and metalloids. And the metalloids element lie along the border of this zigzag line. On the left is metal and on the right is non-metal. So it is very simple if you will understand it. So now let us read about characteristic of groups and periods. The groups and periods are in the periodic table are understood by comparison of properties of elements. Various properties of all the elements in a group show similarity and gradation. However, the properties of element changes slowly while going from one into another, that is from left to right in a particular period. So what is the meaning of this is the groups and periods that we have in our periodic clock. So you can find similarity in groups. You will see here various properties of all elements in a group show similarity. Gradation means it changes very slightly. So let us go back to groups. What are the groups? These are the groups, right? Group 1, group 2, group 3, group 14, group 15. So group 1, these elements will have very similar properties. Group 2, these elements will have similar properties. But they have also said that when you go from left to right, in any one particular period, you will find that there are slight change in the properties. Now let us read about with the electronic configuration of these elements. So yeah, within a period of the neighboring elements, neighboring means which are present just beside each other, differ slightly in their properties, while distant elements differ widely in their properties. This statement, this can come as give reasons, and you will have to give, I will tell you the reason later on when we will have it in our textbook. So it is saying that elements which are present beside, like lithium and beryllium, or sodium and magnesium, or iron or cobalt, or carbon and nitrogen, they have very slight difference in their properties, whereas elements which are present far apart, like calcium and gallium. Can you see gallium here? Yeah. And can you see calcium here? Yeah, this is calcium. So these two are far apart. So there are difference in their properties. Which are far apart, they have more difference. Which are closer, they have little difference. But they do have differences. Now, elements in the same group show similarity. This exact sentence is here. Elements in a group show similarity and gradation. Now, this characteristic of groups and periods in the modern periodic table are because of the electronic configuration of the elements. Now, we are always speaking about configurations. I will help you to understand configurations when we will reach to that topic. So till then, you just remember that, yeah, electronic configuration of the elements are the reason behind the characteristic of the groups and periods in the modern periodic table. Now, it is the electronic configuration of an element which decides the group and the period in which it is to be placed. So one more important thing came, that electronic configuration is the factor which decides which element will be kept in which box. Let's go back. And yeah, try to solve this question. If you have any doubt, let me know. And we will now learn about groups and electronic configurations. So you will find that the number of valence electron, now they have directly used the term called valence electron. You might not be knowing what is valence electron. It's no problem. I will help you understand that. So valence electrons means electrons present in the outermost shell. Okay. If there are two, okay, let us take a new page. Yeah, draw. And then, okay, draw. Now let us understand what valence electron is. Now let's say this is your tiny little nucleus of an atom. Okay, this green color is nucleus of an atom. And let's say this one is actually an electron which is rotating, sorry, not rotating, revolving around the nucleus of the atom, because this is what happens in an element. If element has an atom has an electron which revolves around the nucleus. Nucleus has protons and electrons. Now there are different shells basically. Okay, this is wrong, but I think it will fix it. Okay, yeah, not. So let me draw one more circle around it. So yeah, there will be other shell or orbit. Basically, how do we have in solar system? Similarly, we have it in our atom also. So there are multiple orbits, and around the orbits revolves our electrons. Now let's say if this is the outermost orbit, and if there are two electrons, it means the valence electrons number is 2. And valency will also be 2, because valency means number of valence electrons present, and valence electrons means electrons present in the outermost shell. Now let's take an example of this, and now in this case there is 0 valence electrons. If I draw this and say that this is an electron, it becomes 1 valence electrons, and this will become 2 valence electrons. Now if I draw this, so it means the element has 3 valence electrons. Now let's come back to the point. So we will find that the number of valence electrons in all these elements from the group 1, that is the family of alkali metal, is the same. So it is saying that the number of number of valence electrons will be same for the alkali metals. Okay, so what are the alkali metals? They said that group 1 is alkalic metals. Group 1 is this. It means that hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium are alkali metals. See, it is written there. For group 1, that is the family of alkali metals, have same valence electrons. Similarly, if you look at any element from any other group, you will find that the number in their valence electrons to be the same. So not only this, the author wants to say that you pick any group, any particular group, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the elements present in that group. Let's take like 13. So group 13 has boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. So this all will have same number of valence electrons. Similarly, if you look at if you look at the elements from any other group, you will find the number of their valence electrons to be the same. For example, beryllium, magnesium and calcium belong to the group 2. Beryllium, magnesium and calcium, this belong to the group 2. So that is the family of alkaline earth metals. Now you must understand the difference. Group 1 was alkali metals, group 2 was alkaline earth metal. Group 1 has valence electron 1, group 2 will have also some valence electron. Let's not go into the number of the valence electron, it will confuse you, but let's just understand that beryllium, magnesium and calcium are having same valence electrons, and they are present in group 2, and group 2 is also known as alkaline earth metals. Now there are 2 electrons in their outermost shell. Yeah, so the author is saying that in group 2 there are 2 electrons in their outermost shell. Similarly, there are 7 electrons in the outermost shell of the elements such as fluorine and chlorine from the group 17. Let's go to group 17. This is group 17, right? I hope you all can see. So in group 17, they are saying that this all fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine and astatine are having 7 valence electrons, and group 17 is named as family of halogens, basically halogens. So you must remember these names. While going from top to bottom within any group, one electronic shell gets added at a time. Now what does the author wants to say? That if you go from top to bottom in modern periodic table, like if you're talking about hydrogen, you might have one orbit, okay? And if you come one down, lithium will have 2 orbit, that is 2 shell. Then if you come down, sodium will have 3 shell, okay? So if let's say if you are given at this diagram and if you are asked that please describe which group or which period does this electron belongs to, yeah, this atom belongs to, you can simply see that there are 3 orbits around it, and this one has 1 orbit, this period has 1 orbit, second period has 2 orbit, this period has 3 orbits. It means that it can be diagram of sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, any one of this, and later on I will explain in detail what is the diagram, like how to find which particular element it is with the help of the diagram of an atom. Yeah. So while going from top to bottom, one shell gets added at a time. From there we can say that electronic configuration of the outermost shell is characteristic of a particular group. However, as we go down a group, the number of shell goes on increasing. So the author wants to say, or not only the author wants to say, but it is the fact also that if you go down the group, every time you go down the group, like from here if you go to the next and then into the next, you will see that one shell gets added every time you go down the group. So this group will have maximum number of shell, this one will have minimum number of shell. Okay, now let's see. Uranium has atomic number 92. All the elements beyond uranium, that is with atomic number 93 to 118, are man-made. These are not natural, you must know this. All these elements are radioactive and unstable and have a very short life. Radioactive means these are categories of some metals. I will explain about you in detail regarding this if you will have this in our topic. And unstable means their nucleus are unstable. It means they are very reactive and have a very short life. Okay. Now these are some important points you must understand. Horizontal rows are called periods. There are 7 periods. The properties of element changes slowly from one end to another in a period. Vertical columns are called groups. There are 18 groups, and the chemical properties of the element in the same group show similarity, and elements are arranged in an increasing order of their atomic numbers. This is true about modern periodic table, but in Mendeleev's periodic table, elements were arranged in the order of their increasing atomic masses. Yeah, so let's see this. Again we will revise. This is S block, group 1 and group 2. Group 1 is alkali metal, group 2 is alkaline earth metal. This is P block, group 13 to group 18. Group 17 is the family of halogens. It has 7 valence electrons. This one has 1 valence electron. This one has 2 valence electron. This one is called D block. D block has 2 series, which these 2 series are called lanthanide and actinide series. These 2 series combined are called as F block, and the atomic number is 57 to 71 and 89 to 103 for lanthanide series and actinide series respectively. And also, what about this? Yeah, let us read this paragraph. Yeah, uranium is 92 now, right? Let's find 92. So yeah, where is 92? This is 92. So after 92, it means all this neptunium and plutonium and all this from here to here, this all are man-made elements. These are not found naturally in like nature. Like, these are not natural occurring elements. Now we will learn about periodic classification of elements. So yeah, I think till now this much is fine. You must go through what is the modern periodic table and what are the concepts of it, and yeah, these are important things that you should know. Which block and what are the atomic numbers of their block, like group 1 and group 2 is belongs to S block, and group 3 to group 12 belongs to D block, group 13 to 18 belongs to P block, and yeah, F block is has two separate series called lanthanide and actinide series, which have elements from 57 to 71 atomic number and 89 to 103 atomic number respectively. So that's it guys, and yeah, in the next topic we will cover periodics and electronic configuration. We will read about in the detail about electronic configuration. If you see, we have valency here. I've already explained you the valency, but yeah, we will learn it again. If you are having any doubt, please comment or please send me in the WhatsApp message. I will help you to get the dots cleared. But these things are much more of theory based, so you need to understand them and probably remember this too, because this is how it will happen in exam. There is not much concepts in this chapter because this is chemistry. When you are learning chemistry, you have to memorize most of the things, so you will have to memorize this. So thank you guys, goodbye, take care. We'll meet you again in the next topic.